Okay, maybe maybe if I should just keep talking, that way you think that maybe there's not hearing anything because nobody's really saying anything yet. So we're just waiting for Japhet. He logged off and now he's back on. Hopefully he's got audio now. Are you there, Japhet?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Great. I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Oh, here comes Paul. Hi, Shishuka. All right, let's give it just a couple
Hello.
minutes here to let everybody kind of log in here. I have no idea how many people are going to be on, so it's exciting though. The more the merrier.
Definitely. Definitely.
He said, I thought I disabled the chat room, or the waiting room, but now it just keeps popping up.
Okay.
Shoot, my computer is not cooperating at the
All right.
moment.
I'm not even muted. Don't mute me.
Paul.
Hi, Megan.
Hello, this is Shirley. I was just, I'm happy to be here. I'm just checking to see about the progress of Spellership being in an app format.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a little bit. We're gonna give it a few more minutes for people to log on, and then I'm gonna hand the controls over to Japhet, and he's gonna tell us all about it. I'll introduce him. Sound good?
Yeah.
I need to fix my computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. We're waiting. Okay, well, my name's
The reason
Megan.
why
I I have a 21-year-old speller. Charlie's been spelling for about 2 years. I saw Japhet. He was on the Glow group. If you guys aren't familiar with that, maybe Rekka will come on today and tell you about it. It's a group that she put together, and they do what's the best way to explain? The kids come up with all sorts of really cool things. They talk about how to make a keyboard that would be best accessible for them, whether it's colors or sounds or lights. They have like they've had people that work in accessibility with Apple on, and developers like Japhet, and just really amazing people. It's um, a little bit later, I'll type um, her email address if you want to get on that group. It's usually like the last Thursday of the month, generally around 6 o'clock, but it's a pretty cool group. A lot of the spellers in Florida, I think, are on it. Did we lose Shafet again? Somebody needs to get him some fiber. He needs a T1. Okay, good. Yeah, Carrie. Awesome. I'm also going to try to do some more monthly meetings, just including, hi Maria, nutrition and just different things that we all go through, right? Or interested in, and like stuff like this, like Japhet. Are you good now, Japhet? Can you hear me? All right, we'll give him a couple more minutes. Let's see. Christine can't hear, trying to log back in. Carrie's interested. Awesome.
I can hear now. This is Christine.
Okay,
Thanks,
yeah.
Megan.
Okay,
I had to
great.
update Zoom, so
I Sorry, audio issues. Be right back. That's Japhet. Japhet, let me text him really quick. Maybe he needs to update his Zoom too. To update your Zoom. Okay, well, just a couple more minutes. Hang tight. Thanks everyone for logging on tonight. Just if you could put in the chat where you heard about this, I'd be really interested to know because it was kind of went all over into like Los Angeles spellers and a bunch of groups here in Cleveland. Like we have a really large spelling community in Cleveland, Ohio, which is awesome. Love it, love our tribe here. Tribe, guardians, whatever you want to call it. Oh, spellers in Florida, awesome. Cool. Yeah, Florida, you guys have a huge group down there too. Love that. Oh, yay. Yeah, show good. Oh, they're Connecticut. That's so cool. Yeah, Vietnam. Thank you so much. That's so cool. I feel like you win the farthest prize. What time is it there? My daughter's in Hawaii right now. I think they're 6 hours, no, eight. I don't know. It's something like that. Maybe 6 hours behind us. It's a lot. Okay, good, Gloria. I'm glad. I'm glad that you heard of it on there. 5:50 a.m. Well, good morning. Good morning. All right, Carrie, yes, great. All right, just waiting for Javette to come back on. Here he comes again. Houston, that's awesome. My son's in Dallas, just got a job at UT Dallas. He's a strength coach there.
I am back. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, that's okay. Did you update it? Was that the issue?
I had to reboot about 12 times.
Oh, 12, that's
That's fine
it?
now. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Japhet and then I'm going to make him the host. Okay. So, all right, Japhet is a software developer who lives in New Hampshire with his wife and his two sons. His 7-year-old son has minimal, unreliable speech. So when Japhet stumbled upon J.B. Handley's book, Underestimated, and the Spellers documentary, a fire was lit. I think we all know that fire. Indigo has been seeing an S2C provider weekly since September. And when practicing at home, Japhet noticed that Indigo was far more engaged when the lessons were custom made about topics that he was interested in. So in January, he made an app where he can type in any topic and an AI generates lessons, reads them out loud, and prompts for answers on 3 board, 26 board, or QWERTY. Indigo liked the app so much that Japhet decided to devote his full-time effort into developing it further. It's available now at https://spellership.com. The key features include AI generated lessons at your chosen age level, text to voice, adjustable motor challenge, 3 board, 26 board, or QWERTY, and support for using external keyboards or physical boards. Japhet is building more key features and seeking feedback and suggestions for how to make this useful for all spellers. And again, spellership.com. All right, let me let Shelly in, and then I'm going to make Japhet the host here. All right. Japhet, you good?
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Awesome. I can see you. Can everybody
Great.
else see you?
Okay, so somebody has requested, first of all, the URL. So I'll start off with that and posting that in the chat so you guys can visit whenever you want. Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Japhet, and thanks Megan for inviting me to this conference. My wife actually went to school at Kent State, and so when I said I was speaking to some Cleveland folks, she said, "Let's go visit Cleveland. I'll show you Kent State." And Um, yeah, I've actually never been. I've been through Ohio a couple times, but never been to Cleveland.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I want to tell you guys, first of all, I guess I'll share my screen at this point. Um, tell you a little bit more about Indigo and show you some pictures so you can see who that is. Let's see, I need to do no, desktop capture. We're going to do desktop capture, share sound. And I'm going to show you this one. Tell me if you guys can see that or not. This is in my son Indigo.
Yep, we got it.
You can all see that? Oh, good. Okay. So that's Indigo. He's 7, he'll be 8 this month. He loves Legos. This is him with his Batman Lego that he built. It's for 12-year-olds. It's supposed to be for 12-year-olds, but he built it at his age 7. So that's one of his passions. Let's see. Go to the next slide. There we go. We also like hiking. This is him last fall. This is him having built a Connects ambulance. This is his Up house. If you guys seen the movie Up, that's from the movie. And there he is with his Lego Bugatti that he got from his grandmother. So that's Indigo. Yeah, he kind of started this whole thing really. I read the book Underestimated by J.B. Hanley and then watched the Spellers documentary and then just thought, okay, I got to try this. This is so exciting. It's such a promising idea that he could spell to communicate. He does speak, like he can say 1 or 2 words. And so basic needs, he can definitely meet those and communicate basic needs, but it's yeah, it's like I've never really heard him say what he really feels and like express himself, express more more nuanced ideas or just say what he wants to say. I feel like there's a lot he has inside him that has not gotten out, and I'm sure all of you can relate. So we started spelling to communicate, but the lessons they just weren't. I don't know if it was the lessons. I think it was the lessons, but it just wasn't quite landing with him. Maybe we started too early. I'm not sure. There's a lot of question marks still, but I thought, well, what I should do, I thought, is to make him an app where I can create the lessons myself, and they'll be about stuff that he's really into. Like he's obviously into Batman, for example, so I can make a Batman lesson, and so that's where I started was with this. This is spellerstar.com. Can you guys all see that?
We just still see the picture
Oh,
of the
you
Batman.
still see the picture? Interesting. Okay. Um, let's see if I can fix that. Your screen sharing. How about that? Did that fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you all see that. Okay. This is how it started. It was just like all of these are pictures I either downloaded or I took a picture of a book he was reading and I just kind of manually put in stuff into this really makeshift app that I had for him. And it was all manual input. And he loved it. Like, it was all like stuff about his life. There were lessons that asked that, kind of went over things that he was into, like sharks. There's 4 here about sharks that you can see right here. There's Yoshi. There's Mario Kart. This is a book that he was reading that called The Tooth Witch. So I noticed that when he was getting lessons about the stuff he was into, he was way more engaged with the material. He like wanted to spell. He wanted to like it went from do I have to spell to like he wanted to spell. He wanted to do it every day. And so that was January when I really started this. And now we can fast forward to here. This is what Spellership has become today. So what you're looking at is each of these like pictures is a lesson. And now,
Japhet, just really
yeah.
quick, is the waiting room popping up on your screen? Because somebody's trying to get in.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me see if oh, okay. Yes, yes. I didn't realize I was
Okay,
in
thanks.
charge
Yeah,
of
you're
that.
the
I can do
host.
that. All right. All
Thanks,
right.
Maria.
Yeah. So what you're looking at here is really Spellership right now is two things. And it's going to be, I'm going to try to make this as whatever it needs to be. But what I thought after seeing Indigo being so into this app, I thought, well, I should make this more broadly useful. So that other people can enjoy this too and get that same kind of benefit of having lessons that your speller is really into. And so Spellership. And so what you're looking at is that these are all lessons, and we have this create lesson button where you can type a topic of any topic you want, and AI will go off and make you a lesson. It takes about a minute and a half for that to happen. So we'll do that right now. And then the other thing it does is it'll make you a lesson, but then it'll play the lesson for you. So it'll show you a keyboard, digital keyboard that your speller can use. They can also use a physical keyboard if you have that connected to your device, or you can use a desktop, a laptop. But first, let's look at the options really quick. One of the first settings you need to pick is like what's your reading age. I'm going with 14 here, but if I'll show you that if I went to 5, for example, and hit save, it's going to load a whole different set of lessons for 5-year-olds. And these are just the public topics that that you can start with. You don't have to make all the lessons yourself, but yeah. So let's go back to 14. Now, I'd love to get some participation here from the group. Why don't we make a lesson together? Does anybody have a topic they'd like to learn more about?
Oh,
You
Feel
can
free to
either
put
type it in the chat or unmute
chat.
yourself. The flying car, air car.
Okay, that was first. Let's do that. The flying car. We can do more than one.
Okay, yeah,
But I'll do
yeah,
it
yeah, I love
for
it.
the
You
first
guys,
one.
great ideas.
Okay. So we'll start with that. The climate. And we'll do Pokemon. That's a great idea. I've never thought to do a Pokemon lesson. Okay. Um, I'm afraid to do too many at once. There's a little instability that I've encountered if I try to do too many. Working on that. Anyway, so in the background, AI will be working on those. Now, can you all see generating Pokemon, generating the climate, generating the flying car? Can you all see that?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So that's how it begins. Now, if you go to options, I want to also briefly describe what we have here. The motor level, it's called motor level. It's really more encompassing than that. But the main thing this is going to determine is how many letters does your speller see? And so that starts with like the 3 board. Actually, it starts with the 3 board with flaps. And so you can only see a couple letters at a time. And then here at Venus and Earth, you can see more letters. And so I think you get the idea. Like the further the planet is away from the sun, the more letters you see, basically. So if we go to Jupiter, we'll start there. And let's launch a lesson. Let's just launch a public lesson for now because none of those are quite done. We're going to do animal husbandry.
Animal husbandry is the practice of breeding and raising animals for food, work, or other products. It includes taking care of livestock like cows, sheep, pigs, and chickens. Farmers use this method to produce meat, milk, eggs, and wool.
You can all hear that?
This practice has been important
Yeah,
for humans
nodding. I see
for
nodding.
thousands of years as a way to ensure a steady supply of resources. For whom has animal husbandry been important for thousands of years?
All right, I think the answer is humans. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, here's the 3 board. This is the Jupiter level. So you're going to see a standard 3 board layout here. I think the first letter's
H.
Okay, H is correct. So it jumps to the next board. Now, I'm pretty sure T is not correct. So if I hit T, it's going to just get rid of T and give you a little pause. And let's try U.
U.
U. Okay. So that's kind of your basic board mechanism. And we also have the passage and question buttons right here. If you press passage, it'll go ahead and replay that passage as we just heard. If you hit question,
For whom has animal husbandry been important for thousands of years?
It'll replay the question. Those are both on a cooldown though, so you can't just keep pressing those over and over like my son totally would if there wasn't such thing. It'll cool down, so I'm pressing it now and it's not doing anything. But that's just for if you maybe missed the question or forgot the passage or whatever. So let's finish this up.
M
Humans.
A N humans.
Humans. Okay. What you just saw there actually was I've just typed human. I didn't actually finish it. I didn't put S. And that's something else that the AI is doing. And perhaps it's a little misguided in that particular case, but it'll come up with variants too. So you don't have to type the exact thing that the AI came up with as the answer. There are also variants that also qualify as correct. So that's one question. And let's jump back into this. Let's look at the topic explorer now. We have animal husbandry, and we can look at this topic now. We can see, okay, a bunch of unplayed questions, but we did play the human question. This is showing us kind of the stats, like when this was, the keys that I pressed, what the question was, and also this star thing gives us an idea of how accurate we were on that particular answer. And then you also have an average on the left of all the questions. The average accuracy is also depicted by the same star system. And the purpose of that is to give you an idea of when it might be time to move on to the next level, and whether that be more letters that you see or maybe a different cognitive challenge. That's what that is kind of for, is to kind of guide you as to when it might be time to move on. We also have the ability to disable certain topics. So if there's a public topic that you're just not a fan of, you can disable it and it'll just go to the end of the list and you can't play it until you re-enable it. Let's see. So why don't we have these three that did finally launch. I'm gonna go to Pokemon because that's I think that's a fun one. But let's also go, I'm gonna jump into here and go to Uranus. Now, Uranus is going to give us 26 letters. And yeah, so I'll show you what that looks like. We'll play this topic.
Pokemon is a popular franchise that started as a video game series in Japan, Japhen, in 1996. Created by Satoshi Tajiri and developed by Game Freak, it was first released for the Game Boy console. The name Pokemon is short for pocket monsters, which reflects the idea of capturing and training small creatures. Players take on the role of trainers who travel the world to catch and battle with these unique monsters. Where did the Pokemon franchise start?
Japan, right? I'm going to use my keyboard for this one just to...
J-A-P.
Oops, I misspoke. I started typing my name because that's how my name starts.
A-N. Japan.
All right. So same idea there, just more letters. Let's see, we'll go back. Oh, I did want to show you, I can change the key color. So we have these three color options. The black and white is kind of your default. Like that's just how most letterboards look. But you can change those really easily. We'll change the key color, change the letter color even. And we can change the keyboard color too to let's make it a nice neon. No, that's terrible. Let's make it that. All right. We'll get back in there.
Pokemon is a popular franchise that started. Who created the Pokemon franchise?
I don't remember his name, so I'm gonna have to just bail on that one. But that is, yeah. So that's your key color. Now I do want to at some point give you the option to customize every key so that if you wanted to have some sort of like concentric rings with different colors, then those would that's also going to be an option at some point.
Japhet, it looks
yeah.
like Carrie and Christine have some questions.
Oh, okay, great. There we
Carrie,
go.
you want to go?
Christine. Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Sorry, I'm just turning on my video so you can see who you're talking to.
Sure.
Well, congratulations on this app. Honestly, you have no idea. This is like perfect timing. I just became an independent practitioner and I was like, oh my God, where am I going to source my lessons? Just like freaking out. So, hats off to you for really being a go-getter and making this easy for people like myself to find a place for lessons. But my question was, when the lesson is coming up and you could see the question comes up, when I'm as a practitioner, I need to see the answers there because obviously I need to be helping to motor coach them to the letters because they're not always like I need to know where the answer is. So is there a way for
Mhm.
the answer to pop up or like a list of the answers or questions that I can see beforehand? So it's like,
Yeah.
can the questions be generated and the answers be available within that paragraph already?
hmm Yeah. So there's two ways I support that. So one way, if you wanted to use the app, let's say you want to use the app for the speller wants to type on the app, in other words, then it's difficult, of course, for the app to show the answer because the speller will see it. So for that, this is a feature that is in development, but it's going to happen pretty soon, maybe within a couple weeks. Right here, the PDF. This is currently not available for any lessons, but this PDF link you'll be able to click that and you'll download the PDF of the entire lesson and it'll have all the questions, all the answers in there. You can print that
Wow.
out. You can have that on another device, perhaps. It's up to you what you want to do with that. The
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. The other way that I support what you're trying to do um, is the boardless session. So I will show that in just a moment. But boardless session means that the speller is actually going to be using the physical boards while the app is still supporting and running. You could say running the session. Like the app is going to be showing the passages and the paragraphs and the questions, but it can also show the answer right there. So yeah, hoping to support all the options, all the ways you want to use it.
I have a question, Japhet.
Yeah.
Um, when you generate a new lesson that is not on the app, well, first off, you have an app now in the App Store.
Not yet. That's
Okay.
happening soon though.
Well, the reason why I'm asking about that is because my speller is very, very obsessed about her Google tabs, and she wants to always, look for things instead of working on, what we need to do. But that's one. And then my other question is when you generate a lesson, like say right now, like we're just, whatever we think we want to use, how long does it take for it to generate the lesson? Like minutes wise, can you do it,
Hmm.
within, I don't know, 10 minutes? And will it
Yeah.
generate the PDF file within that time?
Yeah. The average is about 90 to 100 seconds that it takes to generate the lesson. And yeah, the PDF will be done by then as well. Yeah, we just did three of them just now. We're gonna get into the flying car soon.
Japhet,
Thank
can
you.
you
And what
let
was
someone's just in the waiting room?
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There's a lot to
They're
let's
texting
see.
me.
Four people entered the waiting room. I see that. I'm literally clicking on that, but it's not. Let me try if I okay, that's weird. Um hmm. Gosh, where would I go to do that?
Look, yeah, it's usually should be at the top of your screen or it might be over on the right. If you open your chat bar, it might open because there's four people in there. Open your chat bar and see if it says admit.
Okay.
There's
Hmm.
actually a participant bar that he would have to open to admit.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
There you
Wow. All right, now it's in front of me. Okay. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of does that answer? Oh, you had in your first question. I don't think I addressed your first question quite. Can you remind me what your first question was?
Oh, because my speller is very into her Google tabs and just looking for things and all that,
Yeah.
sneaking. So I usually
Okay.
I would like to be able to guided access it as an app, and that way,
Yeah.
hopefully, we get to the point where she could be doing lessons independently, for like maybe 30 minutes, and then
Yeah.
she can do her preferred tasks.
Yeah. So as an app, when it's an app, that'll be a lot easier to isolate it and to say,
Yes.
just use this app. Yeah. Yeah, that is coming.
Thank you.
Also want to mention now, I don't know if we're going to see any of these. Let's jump into the flying car just for fun. Okay. I think it was air car. All right. Air car. Yeah, so that was not an example, but I should just mention that there are what are called semi-open questions. We haven't seen any yet, but it'll sometimes ask name one blank, and it'll be like a list. There'll be a list of possible correct answers. And on the 26, you're gonna be able to answer those. Like anybody can answer anything there. If you're on a smaller one, though, here we go. Perfect example. So name one type of vehicle whose features the air car combines. Now, I am on a smaller board here, but I believe the answers are airplane and car. And
Japhet,
so,
I only see you.
yeah.
I don't see your screen.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Could you guys hear the?
I can see the
I
screen.
can see the
I
screen.
can see the screen.
Oh,
I can see the
I wonder
screen.
why I can't.
Are
Interesting.
you on a phone?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Zoom is not the most perfect app, is it?
There's a bar at the top. If you click on it, it says Japhet's screen.
Oh,
That might
Yeah.
there we go. Thanks.
That's a good point. Yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay. So as I was just saying, there are a couple answers here. So I could do car or I could do airplane. And this particular question happens to support both answers. Now, if it's a question that didn't, it would just skip that question on a 3 board. But this particular question you can. I could also do a car. So I could do this is a variant of car. You don't have to type car. You could say a car or any car. Actually, the paragraph said any car. So why don't we try that?
A.
All right, it's not going to jump to N because it thinks I'm typing airplane. But let's type a car instead.
C. A.
Okay.
R.
So it's flexible in
car.
that way. It's as flexible as it can be given whatever portions of letters you're trying to show at the time. Does that make sense?
Excuse me, Japhet, can I ask
Yeah.
one question?
Of course.
When you're spelling, are you using a mouse to point at those letters? Are you touchboarding or are you typing those letters on a keyboard? How are those boards working within the app?
Yeah, all the above actually. So if you're on a desktop or a PC, you can use a mouse. If you're on a tablet or a phone, you can just tap the screen. If in either case, you can use a keyboard as well. If you have a tablet and you have a keyboard connected to that, then it'll recognize the keyboard. So
Perfect. Thank
any
you.
of those. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to also show you guys the other feature. We'll go back to the flying
The
car.
flying car.
The
C.
flaps.
A.
You haven't seen the flaps
R.
yet.
What type of wings does the air car have?
We're going to skip that. Skip the passage this time. Foldable, right? Foldable wings. So we're going to go F.
F. O.
Okay, there we go. You can see
L.
the flap
D.
kind of moving
A.
about.
B.
Anyway, we just
L.
did that recently.
E.
So I'm going to show that
Foldable
off.
wings.
All right. And if we go also to options, I want to show you also that we have QWERTY. Keyboard type QWERTY is also supported. And we can jump back into here.
The flying car. C. What can the air car drive on?
What can the air car drive on? Regular roads.
R. E. G. U.
I'm just
L.
using my keyboard right
A.
now.
R. R. O.
So as you
A,
saw that,
D.
as you
S.
press
Regular
each letter,
roads.
it's probably hard to hear over her. As you press each letter, it's going to show you a different portion of the QWERTY keyboard. And if you're, if your speller is at the point where they're maybe trying to migrate towards an actual physical keyboard, then I think the QWERTY is a great option for the spellers who want to kind of move in that direction. Let's see. So let's see. Oh, and I want to show you guys the boardless option. So if we go to keyboard type none, then this is going to show no board at all. Well, let's go to the climate. We haven't done any of the climate. Play this.
The climate is the average weather in a place over a long period of time, usually about 30 years. It tells us what kind of temperatures T, E, M, P, E.
Okay. So I'm going to cut that a little short because it can get a little tedious with all the spelling, which is an option, by the way. You can turn that off.
How do you turn it off, Japhet?
Well, that is in the options. So some of the levels will say no spelling, and that's meant to be a little more difficult. So it's not going to spell some of the keywords. Yeah, so it's one of the options.
What is climate?
This is called the boardless section. This is what I call boardless. And this would be for if you want your speller to use a physical board, but you still want to use the app to show the lesson and even read the lesson. Now, if you want to not have it read the lesson, you can turn your volume all the way down and then you could read the lesson. But yeah, so it's up to you whether you want the app to read it or you can read it. You hit question, and then when you want the answer, you'll press answer, and that'll be obviously just when you're looking at the screen. Average weather. So
Japhet, I have a question.
Sure.
Is there a way, because if the speller is pointing to the screen letterboards, is there a way to keep track of what they're spelling? Like kind of like a history?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, there is a history of all the letters that they typed. And let's see, let me jump back in here and I'll show you that again. Let's see, foldable. Was it here? Yeah. So for example, well, that's not the best example because I typed all the letters there. Japan. I messed up Japan. Keys pressed Japhan. So it'll give you an idea of like which letters they pressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The climate is the average.
Okay. So yeah, so this is the scenario where you're letting the speller use a physical board, and here you have the option to then kind of rate their accuracy if you want to. You don't have to do that. You can also skip it. I know it can be uncomfortable to give someone a rating based on like a numerical value. But again, the purpose of that is just so that you are more aware of when it's time to move up to the next level. That's the only reason that that's here, is to support you making that decision with some data.
Which time period is typically used for averaging climate?
Yeah.
Which time period is
30 years. Okay. So confirm.
Name one web.
We can skip that
Where
if
is
you
a
want.
tropical climate commonly found?
Okay. And if you go back, then those star values that you put in here are going to be represented here, except this time it's going to be with a sun to represent that you had no board, no planet. There's no planet here, no board. So
Can you show the difference between like a 7-year-old lesson and a lesson for like a 29-year-old?
Yeah, definitely. Let me type in, yeah, we'll go to 7. I've been having trouble loading the images on some of these. This is a problem with my browser. I don't think it's a problem with the app. Okay, but we do have some here. Let's jump into sharks.
Sharks are big fish that live in the ocean. O-C-E-A-N. They have sharp S-H-A-R-P teeth to eat their food. Some sharks are very large, like the whale shark, which is the biggest fish in the world. Sharks swim fast to catch smaller fish to eat.
Okay. So as you can see, it's a little simpler. I've instructed the AI to tailor each lesson for the age, for the target age. Here's the question.
Where do sharks live?
I think it's the ocean. Let's see. Yeah. And so also the length of the words that they're spelling is also age dependent. For 5-year-olds, the maximum I think is 6 letters. And it's the age plus 1 actually until a certain age. It's like, yeah. So if you're 14, you can spell, it's going to give you up to 15 letters per word. Yeah, and then we could look at, we'll go to 25. Well, 25 is the highest age lesson that I make. But if you typed in 45, oops, you're going to get the 25-year-olds lessons. I don't think the images will download. Oh, no, they will. Good. So totally different set of topics, but these are now going to be more, yeah, the writing is going to be more geared toward an older age group. We can look at Africa, for example.
Africa is the second largest continent in the world, covering about 30.3 million square kilometers.
Okay.
What is Africa's rank in size among the continents?
Second biggest, second largest. Okay. Um, yeah, and so
Can you
then
still have the same lesson like the sharks, but for the 25-year-old?
you can type whatever you want when you go to create lesson, and it's going to use your age, whatever age you've put in here. So reading age 45 in this case, and it'll make a lesson about sharks tailored for 45-year-olds if you do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Someone has a question
I
about the number boards.
Yeah. Chris, yeah, go for it. Oh, our number board supported. Not yet. Good question. I see it in the chat. That is coming. That needs to happen. Rajini asks how to install this app to create a lesson. So right now it's not an app, but I'm going to make that an app. I'm going to make that a thing as soon as I can. What I'm offering for you guys today is like if you go to Spellership and type in your email, I'll activate your account for free, so you can get access to that. You'll have to use the app for now, sorry, you'll have to use the website for now. But if you do put your email in today, I will any emails I see today, I will just go ahead and activate the account and the reason I don't have it just on for everybody is it does cost some money to run the AI. So I can't do it for everybody, but I'm happy to do that for all you guys here. Yeah, spellership.com. Let's see. We have Carrie Towery has her hand up.
Hi. Okay, I have two questions.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you're gonna do a practitioner portal and if you're gonna just do like a parents portal, because what I could see would be helpful is when you were showing going back and looking at what they spelled and what they mistyped and stuff. If you can have that for multiple people within the system to see what each person's progress is going.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. So we're actually working on, when I say we, I have a couple developers who are working with me. We are currently working on supporting multiple spellers. And that's going to be actually right here where it says son. That's actually going to be the name of the speller, the current speller. And so all the options that you choose are going to follow that speller. They're going to be, set to that particular speller. So you can change that. Now, initially, it's only going to support 2 spellers. And that's for the parents who might have 2 spellers. And but yeah, when the app comes out, I will have a version that does more than two.
Awesome. And then my second question is the AI technology in terms of picking the subjects. Can you choose how to write a subject, kind of if you wanted it in more of a story format or like in a first person, or if you wanted it more factual, just to kind of give it a bit more character and a bit more personality and a bit more originality?
That's a great idea. There's no current way to do that in the app as it is, but yeah, that would be not too hard to implement to some sort of there's temperature. That's the first thing that comes to mind when
Yeah. Because I just
that
think about writing lessons in ChatGPT, and then I can
Mhm.
just be like, okay, I want it written like this and this person. I kind of want to bring my own personality in it, or I want to write it like as if Stephen King, like if I was doing a lesson on Stephen Hawking, I would want to write it like in his, the way he would speak it out. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so the other thing I want to do, so yeah, I can't promise what the AI will be capable of in that
Okay.
regard, but however, yeah, I think what I want to do at some point is give you the reins to edit lessons to really make whatever you want. Literally could like paste something you wrote in there and use the app with your own handwritten lessons. What I'm excited about too is where you could start with an AI generated lesson, but then edit it from there and just tailor it a little bit to make it kind of a little more um, what you want to do. Like ask the questions you want to ask rather than the questions the AI came up with. Or maybe just edit the answers. Maybe you're just not happy with the set of answers. You want to,
Yeah.
fix it a little bit. Um, does that make sense? So yeah, I do want to, I love the idea of having like maybe like um, right now it's kind of, right now I'm instructing it to kind of stick more to facts and, but yeah, maybe a story mode would be fun too, or something a little more, um, yeah, maybe a little more, what's the word? It's just a little more, not so factual, I guess, would be the opposite
Yeah.
of factual, but
Lots to think about.
fiction.
Put it on your list.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question. How about,
Yeah.
are the lessons that people in the community, will they be saved here, or meant to be shared with other parents and practitioners?
You're saying like if you make a lesson, will it be shared with others?
Yeah, like, is there a way to like keep it, or does it normally just save it? Because
Well,
sometimes, it'd be good to see what others are using, right? Like ideas.
mhm.
Like a lesson library?
Yeah, that way we don't have to replicate it if it's already there.
Okay. Yeah, right now, if you make a lesson, it's just for you. It's just private. In fact, it's specifically for that speller and that's the only person who will currently see it. Um, but sharing the ability to share lessons, I think is a great idea that I could definitely enable. You would maybe have a lesson code that you copy and they can paste it in and download it or
Oh,
yeah, attach it to their account, perhaps.
yeah.
Put it
Yeah,
in a
I like
PDF.
yeah, the code, sure. The code for that particular lesson if you want to yeah. Um yeah, right, but right now it's just yours. It's just a private lesson. The lessons you see here are all public lessons. These are like if you go to the site, you'll see all these same lessons, except for sharks, which I just made. Do you guys want to see the sharks
But
lesson for 44-year-olds?
yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's jump in here.
Sharks are a group of elasmobranch fish characterized by their cartilaginous skeletons, which means their bones are made of cartilage. Cartilage, rather than hard bone. They have been swimming in the oceans for over 400 million years, predating even the dinosaurs. Sharks possess multiple rows of sharp teeth that are constantly replaced throughout their lives. Their streamlined bodies are adapted for efficient swimming, making them apex predators in many marine ecosystems.
And the question,
What type of fish are sharks classified as?
anybody know this one?
Starts with an E.
Cartilagenic something.
Yeah, I heard the word that starts with an E, and then it might put it. Let's see what the answer is. It's one of those. Elasmobranch fish.
Oh, good.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Mhm.
So yeah, a little more complicated.
Of course, the
Maybe
spellers
a
know
little
it,
bit.
but the parents
Oh
and
yeah.
all the practitioners are clueless.
Oh yeah. Yeah. hmm Yeah. So yeah, future features. Oh, we do have some questions. Let me just.
Mhm.
Jessica C has a question.
So the question I have is about the words that it's picking to spell seem like kind of the easier words in the lesson, but some of the more complicated words it's not spelling. So I was just wondering what
Hmm.
the logic was behind that.
Yeah, right now the spelling, it's just literally what it's doing is it's saying, okay, which out of all the questions, let's look at all the answers and let's look at the answers that have only one word and spell all of those. I don't think that's ideal, honestly. I think it could do a much better job of picking out just a few keywords and especially kind of at their that are going to be at their reading age. And I, from what I understand, actually, you don't spell the answers before you give the questions. That like I don't think that's really the method. I know Speller's method just has you spelling other words, and it's just a way to kind of tickle their brain a little bit, I suppose. It's a warm-up exercise, you might say. So I don't think I'm doing it the right way, and I want to look at that at some point.
Japhet, there are some
Yeah.
questions in the chat as well.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I did miss some. So let's see. Which A McClifford M. Clifford says, which AI engine is behind this? Well, we're using Grok for the generation of the passages. Well, I call them passages, but the lesson, the questions, and the answers. That's a model that just came out a month ago. So that was like at the time the newest model, and I had to jump on it and see if it was good. And it is pretty good. It's not perfect. Also using OpenAI for the image, and we're using Amazon Polly to convert the text into speech so you can hear what the text is saying. Um, Rajini said, can you explain once again my net got disconnected? Oh, you were asking how to install the app to create a lesson. There's actually no installing of the app right now. There's no app in the App Store for this. So you'll have to go to spellership.com, type in your email, and after this session, I'm going to activate everyone's account who activates it today. All the emails that I see, I will just activate your account. And so once that happens, once I've activated it, you'll be able to go to spellership.com and just type in a topic. Vera C asks, Japhet, which browser supports the site? And well, I would say Apple. So Apple iOS devices, they have purposely nerfed their browser to be a little more restrictive. And so iOS is going to have a little harder time. It's the answer, the quick answer is any browser will work. iOS browsers tend to be, they tend to just kind of crash because they don't allow as much memory as I would like to take. It's something I'm working on, and that'll get better once there's an app. Once there's an app, it won't be an issue. But my recommendation would be an Android tablet is the best, and Chrome or Brave or Firefox are great. What safety measures are built to prevent objectionable content? None. Actually, none. The AI will come up with whatever it comes up with. So I guess I would say the parent or the partner is the safety measure. That it's up to it'll be up to you to vet the lesson if you want to look through it first. Yeah, I haven't seen anything objectionable in my experience. Mita asks, are questions color coded as per S2C guidelines? In the PDF that we're generating, they will be color coded, indeed. Um, in the app, they are not. They're just, yeah. That's not a bad idea though. I suppose I could, yeah. I suppose I could color code the question as it comes up. Christine asks, could there be a future option to build on a lesson to gain a deeper understanding of a topic within the age group? Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Build on a lesson. Wow. Okay. I okay. That's something I hadn't really considered. That's that would be like you get to the end of the lesson and you just want to dive deeper. You want to dive deeper into that topic. And yeah, right now if you hit refresh, it would just make you a different, but starting from scratch kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Thanks for the idea. Build on a lesson. Um, Mita asks, how much would it cost? So right now it's free. Right now it's in the prototype phase, you could say. I don't know how much it will cost. I will have to charge something. My goal, I'd love to be able to do like just focus on this and keep focusing on this and keep making this awesome and keep building it. I've been working full time on this since January. So if I'm going to support me working on it, I will have to charge for the AI, but also for my time. I'm imagining it's something like $5 a speller per month. That's just that's just kind of where I'm thinking, something like that. Maybe 10, maybe as much as 10. I can't say. And I suppose there'll be like if you wanted to make a bunch of lessons, I would have to charge more for that. So that could also be. Oh, and there will be a free option that you can also use it for free. But if you wanted to make lessons, I think that's when I'll start charging. If you want to make your own lessons, then that'll be probably five. It'll probably start at $5 a month, something like that. Maria asks, like a tell me more option. Yeah, yeah, for the lessons, right? For being able to expand on a lesson. Sandy says, I don't remember what the 26 letterboard looks like, but is there punctuation for sentences and open responses? Oh, okay. I've just started working on open questions. Right now there's no punctuation. What I'm planning to do for this next version, which is coming up probably next week, is I'll have open questions starting probably next week, but there's no space bar. And so it turns out the AI is really good at adding spaces and correcting what just looks like a string of letters, and it'll like see the whole sentence among those letters. So currently planning to just send that as is to the AI and just have the AI interpret it. But I'm also curious to hear from you guys. Should I add a space bar to this? Because I know a lot of people don't use space bars in spelling. S2C, I think, recommends against having a space bar or button. So tell me what you guys think. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I wanted to say my speller, she is into, making sure that she has her space. So it would be helpful for her,
Okay.
her space bar. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Shishuka, my son too. He likes spacebar, and I, I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with me, but I, I don't think that being rigid is anytime a good idea, whether it is S2C or it just stops the creativity of ideas. And if you can, within reason, be flexible where you provide as as many options as you possible so the kids can explore it themselves. I don't like it
Yeah.
being very rigid.
Understood. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
We use the
Um,
spacebar, Javette, because Charlie mainly uses the keyboard.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think ultimately, if you want to go for independent typing, you are going to have a space bar. that's going to
That's
be
right.
on
Independent
everyone's
typing.
path.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point.
And that's the point. Like my son was told that he has to try with the regular board, but he started at type, he always enjoyed doing typing on the computer. So we started with that. And I think the worst problem with autism right now is that physicians and scientists and everybody is so rigid. As parents, we should try to be flexible. And I'm saying it because I'm a physician and I see that from that perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Beth had her hand up for too long. I'm sorry, Beth. What would you like
Thank
to?
you. Yeah, we're just getting started with the spellers. I just discovered it a month ago. And my first question is, um, you're asking for the speller's reading age, and he's 28, and our practitioner says, that the presumed confidence and stuff. Um, so I'm not sure, do I put 28, or since he hasn't been exposed to the more advanced um, teachings, lessons, and whatever. Um, should I make it more like an 18 or something like that?
Well, my thought there is you're you're probably going to know best with some experience with that when you
Just
yeah, when you
play
see
around
kind
with
of
it.
yeah, I would what I've done with my son is I did start with his age, 7. Um, and and I think the presumed competence idea is a solid start. It's a solid place to start. Like start with their age. Um, but if I think if and I think some people are going to disagree. Some people are going to disagree with me here, but I think that if you get the sense from watching him, and you have a lot of evidence. In fact, well, the quote, presumed confidence, like the context of the quote says, in the absence of conclusive evidence,
Mhm.
presumed competence. Now, I'd say if you have conclusive evidence that your speller is struggling at that age, yeah, I'm say knock
So
go to
start
go
with the
to a lower.
28 and back off if we need to.
That's what I yeah, that's what I would
Yeah.
say.
He spelled some
I
amazing words already, and I'm sitting there going, like
Beth,
that
are you working with a
one.
practitioner?
It's like she did the starfish, and it was like Indo something or other. And I was like, never heard of it before. And he spelled it just fine. So, uh,
Jen, I was wondering, Beth, if you are working with a practitioner.
yes, I am.
So I just wanted to weigh in real quick. I'm not a practitioner, but my son has been spelling for over 10 years, and so I have a lot of experience from the parent side. Absolutely, I would assume that he knows at a 28-year-old level, like because even though you may not have specifically purposefully exposed him to some of those things, like he's been exposed to. I mean, my son blows my mind. I mean, even though we've been doing it for 10 years, there's still things where I'm like, wait, when did you learn that? Because I don't know, you know what I mean? And I've been homeschooling him since he was 5. So I mean, the general wisdom, yeah, you're correct, Jeff, that is presumed, at his age level. And then if you need to scaffold it down, like then you can do that. Anyway.
Okay. And then my other question is there a way to maybe enter into the AI to take on a creation timeline rather than the evolution timeline?
Interesting. Um, there's there's not a direct way to do that. I would, to give it an angle, there's not a direct way to do that. That's an interesting idea, though, that perhaps that could be an option to say, you know, let's start with a basis first and kind of establish a basis, and let's write a lesson with that core belief. And this is one of the reasons I chose Grok. I don't know if it's the best at this, but I think it's pretty neutral. I could be wrong about that, but I know that some AI models can be kind of biased toward on certain issues. And that's not what
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to like have a neutral platform, but there are some questions that uh, it's just going to pick a side, and there's some lessons that they are controversial, and it's just gonna pick a side. I don't know which side it's gonna pick, but it's gonna pick one, and it's not gonna be to everyone's liking. So yeah, that's an interesting idea that we could have an input, as one of the options that you can input. You could say, well, let's start with the basis of creation, and given creation is true. That's like that's your given. Now write a lesson about blank. Okay. Um, yeah, I think that's very valuable. I think it's something that should be in there. So thanks for the idea.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for considering that. I appreciate that, and
Yeah,
for
thanks for the idea.
everybody's input on the on his reading age. So thank you.
Christine, you have your hand up too. Do you have another question?
Sorry, no, I hit the wrong button.
Okay, no problem. Jen, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, and I don't want to step on any toes, and I commend you for everything that you're doing. But I just wanted to make a quick comment though for people that are new to spelled communication. If you're working with a practitioner, that's awesome. I just think like with this format, just make sure that you are familiar with the progression of, like that you're not jumping too quickly directly to using the keyboard piece of this app versus like staying on the letterboards where they are starting, because you don't necessarily, you want to start with those stencil boards and follow the progression of S2. I mean, obviously there's exceptions if your kid's already typing, but I just wanted to make sure for anybody that's new that, like I said, that you're still seeking guidance from a practitioner along with this tool. So I, again,
Yeah,
apologies.
my practitioner is actually interested in this also. She was hoping to be on, but I don't see her on here. So this is being recorded, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll be able to get it to her later. She had an appointment at this time.
Great.
So I have
Yeah,
a question then. Thanks for bringing that up. If my speller is on, say, a laminate right now, and we have to scale back to the 26 small stencils. So how do we put that in consideration with the letter boards on the screen?
you're on the laminate and you're scaling back to the 26 stencils.
For open questions. But then if we
Okay.
use the Spellership, it has the letters on the screen. So who presses it?
So if you want to use the stencils, I think that's great. There's the option. I don't know if you're here for this, but there's a boardless option. If you choose board equals none, set the board to none, then it won't show you the board on the app at all, and you can still show the passage, the questions. The app will read the passage if you want it to, but you would be then presenting the physical board for them to touch the letters there.
I see.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. You can also, soon you'll be able to print out the PDF of the lesson that you generated and use that instead.
Yeah,
if you
that's
want.
great. Yeah.
Well, Japhet,
How long?
you
What's
changed
the
the motor on
ETA
it
for
too,
that?
right?
Let's see, one person
The
at a time. I
ETA.
did ETA on PDFs.
Yeah.
I would say a couple weeks. Within a couple weeks, that'll be out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We had some other questions. Did anybody
No,
else
we're
want to say
just saying
something?
that you could go on and you could change the motor, right? You could go down to, you could change the motor on your profile so that you would take it off like a laminate type and go back down towards, or you could just go to none. I mean, and then you're not, right?
Yeah, the motor level is for if you are using the app. If you want to use the app, then there's the motor level that you can adjust.
Right.
And that'll basically show you determine how many letters they see at once. That's what that is mostly going to do. But yeah, then there's also just not having a board, which is not really attached to a motor level for the app, as far as the app's concerned. Um, I realize that we're over time here. I'm happy to stay. My commitment at 7:45 is not actually a commitment today. Not it's not happening. So, well, happy to stay and answer questions, but yeah, but if you have to go, I understand it as well.
So we just send you our emails.
Um, what you'll want to do if you want access is go to spellership.com. I'll put the link again here. And it'll ask you for an email as soon as you download it.
Okay. But if I already made one before, then that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I have to ask you, when did you make that? Because I might have to go back in time a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Or if you wanted to put your email in chat, I'm happy to copy it down and make sure that you're activated.
Thank you.
So basically it asks for email, it asks for the speller age, and then that's it, and then submit, and then you've got it. So
Yeah. That
And-
creates an account. Once you submit that, it creates an account. And I'll see that account and I can activate it.
okay, so but we have to wait for you to activate it before we can use it. We can't just jump in and play.
Correct. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll activate it tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mine already popped up.
Yeah, you can jump in.
As soon as I hit submit, it started populating.
Yeah. You can jump in there and start using the public topics. What I need to activate though is if you want to make a
Make your
topic of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to make your own topic,
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, I'll have to activate that.
Here come the email addresses.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just screenshot those. Let's see.
This really is great though. Yeah. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping it's useful for people. I'm just really excited about being able to help. Because I've just gotten the impression that there just must be a lot of people who need this sort of help. Just like my son. And if I can make this easier, because I know we happen to live in a city where it's like I'm in New Hampshire. The only S2C practitioner in New Hampshire happens to be in the city I live in. So lucky me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that luxury, right? So
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to help those who aren't, like, maybe they're an hour and a half away from the nearest one or more.
There's really not that many practitioners, even in big cities. I'm in LA in California, and it's hard to find people out here too.
Hmm.
They're-
Yeah.
My practitioner's an hour and a half away.
Wow.
We're
Yeah,
lucky in
that's-
Cleveland. We've got, what, 5, 6
Where are you?
Dang.
practitioners in Cleveland, Ohio?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Carrie,
wow.
the one that just left, she was the practitioner for my son, but she's kind of, it's not that far, but anyone knows anything about LA traffic, it's not that far, but it takes forever to get there.
It'd take you an hour to go miles.
Pretty much. So yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cost can be prohibitive for some people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also just I think an app can be a lot more. I guess there's a couple things, like it could be a lot easier to, and I don't, this is a bit of it could be a bit of a trap because you don't want this to be easy, right? We're not trying to make this easy. It's not going to be easy to learn spelling. Well, for some kids it is, but if I can remove some of the barriers to this, like one of the barriers would be, did you have time today to practice spelling? Some days are just like, they're nuts, right? Some days just you don't have time. And this I think will make it easier for days like that. And another barrier would be like how engaged are they with the lessons, the material, the physical boards? I think there's something to be said about using physical boards. I think I'm not so sure that maybe that is better to use physical boards, but I think some kids just might be more engaged with a digital product that talks to them and is a little more interactive.
That's something I was thinking of on our son because he already knows how to touch type, and he's I think he'll be more interactive with this because of the technology than he will be with the stories we've been reading him and doing it that way.
Well, and also
Yeah.
you run out of lessons. I mean, it makes it easier for the parents and the practitioners because, and also like you said, your son wasn't really all that interested until you were able to create things that he liked.
Mm-hmm.
You if you don't have a lesson, you just jump on here and boom, you got one.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away that obstacle.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking around at lessons that are available and stuff, and especially, free ones, which are a little harder to find, but
I mean, I've created my own, but
that takes a lot of time.
it does. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I have a little bit of background there, but it's still not exactly how Spellers or STC does it. It's just I have a little bit of background on, open questions and closed questions. I know that aspect of it, and I can usually pull it out, but still, this I have to think. This way, I don't have to think.
Yeah, hoping to make it just easier. There is a part of me that wonders if if I wonder if a new speller is just maybe better served with physical boards, with the app generating the lesson, perhaps. But there seems to be a lot of people saying that physical boards is where you want to start.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But with this, I can once you have the PDF part going, then I can print it out and it would be this. I could still use the physical board, but I would have
Yeah.
a lesson, right?
Yeah. And there's also the board equals none option in the options. If you want to be super safe and stick to stick to the method, I would use board equals none for a new speller. If you're with the speller that has experience and is already maybe they're already open, but they want to transition to independent typing, then I would say that's where you would want to. I'd be more comfortable recommending the app's keyboard at that point because that is what you're trying to ultimately do, right? Is get them independent like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he's on the 3 board, obviously still. So as long as he's on the 3 board, probably not using this would be better.
Yeah, if he's on the 3 board, I would say you could try it. I would say try it, but I would also just be cognizant of that he might make more progress if he's on a physical board with perhaps the app reading the lesson and perhaps you reading the lesson from the app. Um, but I would just encourage you to try the physical board and just make your own judgment as to which he likes better and which one he progresses more with.
Which one he cooperates more with.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Japhet, can you go ahead and put your social media stuff in the chat so that if people wanted to join, I think you have
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me.
yeah, and a way that they can
Yeah.
reach out to you if they have any questions. I mean, I don't want them to like be bombarding you, but maybe it's on that social media where you can check in at your leisure and
Yeah, the best place
answer
to
any questions.
join, yeah, to join this if you want, I'll send the group, here it is, the group link here. This is for those of you partners who are joining me early here. This is still a prototype. So this group is for it's called the Spellership Launch Crew, and so it's for people who are trying Spellership now, even before it's done, and helping me out, giving me feedback. What I most need right now is feedback from partners, from spellers, when I say partners, I mean communication partners. So yeah, there's the link for that. If you want to join that,
Perfect.
that'd be a great place to get a hold of me.
Thank you.
Terry asks, is there anything any of us could do to assist you? Are you looking for IT help or proofreaders? Mostly looking for, I would say, professional communication practitioners. Yeah, I'd love, like, if you've worked with a lot of kids and you want to advise me as to how this should work, I'd love to talk with you. The best way to get a hold of me would be, I think, through the group. If you
Okay.
post in that
I've
group.
also I am recording this, and so I want our practitioners to take a look at it as well. And I will have them comment, take a look at the site and go through it. I had also reached out to Dana Johnson too to take a look at it. So
Great. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to hear, yeah, that sort of
I'm
feedback.
going to Spellers soon to see DM. I can mention it to her as well.
That would be
She
great.
doesn't already know about it.
Cool. I'm going to be going to Tampa to Invictus School in July. So I'm going to get some one-on-one time there. I'm super excited for that.
That'll be great. Does anybody have any last thoughts, any comments, any last questions before we go?
That's here by me, Invictus. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you letting me show you this to you all.
Oh, this looks pretty amazing what you've done here. Thank you again.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think if you go on and you play around with it, and then you'll get a feel for how it works for you. And then if you have any questions, again, you can get onto his Facebook group and then ask away.
Yeah, that's the place.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to join us. That was great. Super excited generating new lessons about any topic that we write, airships and Pokemon. So cool. So yeah, love it, love it, love it.
All right. I
Hang
suppose
on for a
I
little
suppose I
bit
have
so
to
that you
end
get
this.
everybody's email address down there. And I'm going to put my
Yeah.
email address in the chat for some reason, you guys need to get a hold of me or whatever. Or if you want to send me your email address to get to him, I can do that too.
Megan, I just made you the host.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much.
Sandy, got you.
Okay. Yeah, and you can scroll through the chat and see if you've missed anybody there. Okay, so yeah, make sure you get your name in the chat before you log off here. And so you're in the in crowd, right?
In crowd?
Yeah, the in crowd.
The in crowd.
Wow, lots of emails. Here we go.
I always wanted to be in the in crowd.
You did it.
Yeah.
Well,
You
and
know
just
about
to
it
be on board,
before.
like right at the starting of this, right? We're gonna be like, oh my God, right? I met him, and holy cow, look at this, and it's gonna
It's exciting. The whole thing is exciting. I mean, it's
Mhm.
exciting to see our kids flourish in this, and it's exciting to see all the extra things that people are coming up with like this. I mean, it's great. I mean, soon people are going to be like, "Wait, you were there when it started? It's been there forever."
You were in the in crowd, right?
Yep.
Some.
I love the positive enthusiasm. I really hope it's as useful as I imagine it could be.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, it already is. I think, right, there's some areas where you can do some tweaking, but you'll get that. And, otherwise, I think all of our kids are going to benefit from it, and all of the practitioners, whoever kids they're working with too. So amazing,
Thank you.
amazing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining on. Have a great rest of your week.
You as well.
I didn't realize you were going to sign off so fast. I want to thank you again. That was really great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.